Disclosure Day, Steven Spielberg's return to alien slash science fiction films that we all grew up watching as little kids. But is this movie different from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T., Minority Report, even Indiana Jones, or even some of his more recent stuff like Ready Player One? This movie is completely its own. It doesn't necessarily copy the previous Spielberg films. It does stand on its own, has issues that if you're expecting to see big fight sequences, huge mothership, all these and big aliens attacking planet Earth, this movie is not about that. Steven Spielberg made an alien film really about the issue isn't aliens. The issue is the people living on Earth. Whether or not we want aliens to be a part of our society, or do we want to know about this information, or do we want to keep it secret? You know, you're not going to get in this movie what we saw in previous Spielberg alien films. You're not going to get War of the Worlds, where the aliens come to this planet and they're ready just to annihilate as many humans as possible. This film is actually quite the opposite of that movie. The aliens are, in a way, friendly in this movie. It isn't the xenomorph alien. These are aliens who come to Earth and seem like they want to communicate and create a friendship and a relationship, with humans. And we're kind of like the bad guys in this movie, where it's kind of quite the opposite of some of the other science fiction films that we've previously seen. And I think that's something that's a lot of people aren't going to like in this movie is, if you're expecting, UFOs to start shooting lasers at people, destroying cities, or stuff like that, you're not going to get that in this type of movie. This movie is about information and control and empathy and what is the truth, and whether or not, as a public and as our society that we live in, do we want to see the truth of what's happening within our own government, within our own society. And I think that's what Spielberg wanted to do, is to take a different style approach of an alien film that he had never done before. We've seen him do so many science fiction slash alien films throughout his entire career. And he knows that people have seen all of his movies. Spielberg knows that everyone's seen E.T., everyone's seen all my movies. I have to do something different, take a different route when it comes to this type of genre, or I can't do it. Steven Spielberg went and did his first musical, West Side Story. He did kind of a self-autobiography of his life in The Fabelmans. So if he was going to return to the science fiction genre, he had to take a different avenue. He can't just keep making the same movies over and over again. And he's always been an advocate for original storytelling. And I think this is that specific quality is what people are going to like most about this movie, that this is an original story and it attempts to try to tell the alien narrative in a different way, in a different style approach that we haven't seen from previous sort of iterations of Spielberg movies. There are certain ways that I did like the movie where it does take a good approach to kind of focusing on the story and the characters and the struggles that they're going through on having to deal with aliens and science and the truth, and whether or not they're being controlled, or do they have free will, or who can they trust, who can't they trust, and how far they're willing to go to get the information out. And I think Spielberg does a good job at casting the right actors to kind of channel that emotion and channel that energy. This is a very emotional movie about childhood, about trauma and having to deal with your past and but at the same time it's sort of intertwined with the science fiction and alien movie. And it all kind of fits together. It does have, it's a very sentimental film, but it's not too scary. He stays away from the horror. There are certain aspects of the movie where it does feel a little scary. This is not a horror movie. He wanted to make an action foot chase sequence movie throughout the entire film, and I think Spielberg was able to accomplish that. This movie is not going to be for everyone. Some people are like it, some people aren't. The ending is a little artificial. It doesn't necessarily feel that authentic. To me, I would say the last 15 minutes, the final act was to me the weakest part, where they were trying to force sort of the ending towards the people. I didn't feel like it landed as well as it could have. I feel there was a lot of plot points and things that didn't make any sense. Why didn't they choose to release the information in different ways, just this one singular way? Spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1. They choose to release the information on a news channel, a cable news channel, rather than just showing it on the internet or going a different route. It has to be done on cable television because that's the only way people think it's the truth. I guess they chose the easiest plot point to kind of tell the story. I felt that was a little lazy and not as relevant as in today's society where we're in a dominant social media, Instagram, TikTok world, right? And this isn't like 2005 where we're getting majority of our information from cable television. We get our information from different places, from all the entire internet. So I didn't know why they were so hyper fixated on the TV aspect of releasing the information, because that's apparently the only way people get their news. In 2026, which is obviously, I'm joking, it's not. People get their news all over basically Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, but they wanted to do the cable route because it's better for narrative storytelling, and it's better for the visuals, and it helps the audience understand more. And obviously, I'm guessing Spielberg's an older director. He probably hates social media, so I guess he didn't want to show that part in the movie. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give this movie a 7.7 out of 10. It's a movie that I liked, but I had some sort of issues with it in terms of plot points. But it'd be an interesting film to one of these movies that you want to rewatch in 10 years, see if it still holds up. Maybe you have a different point of view at that specific period of time. If you like this film review, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thanks, guys.